So the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, has asked a judge to force the trustees to show up to meetings, even though she's missed probably just about as many meetings herself. But ignore that. She needs Chris Gonzalez. She needs Carmen Carlile there pronto. Let's get into it. Here we go.
WGN Investigates has learned South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard is asking a judge to intervene in a standoff in Thornton Township. Two trustees opposed to Henyard have refused to attend meetings for fear she'll fill a vacancy on the board and regain control. Henyard says without a quorum for meetings, the township's insurance policies have lapsed, forcing her to close the township building and suspend bus service. Henyard is facing a backlash over her spending and leadership style in both of the governments she runs. She lost the Thornton Township caucus to run for re-election as supervisor in the spring election, and Henyard is facing two opponents in the race for Dalton mayor at the end of February.
You want to support this channel? Head on over to reasonabletv.com. It's where we've got additional content like this one. Pimp Shootout. Uber hero saves trafficked woman. That was a wild. This is a Seattle story. A lot of these are Seattle stories. We've also got the illegal immigrant torches New York City commuter, because we've got some, footage there. People on fire. Can't run that elsewhere. What's this going to cost you? It's going to cost you $3.99 a month. Check it out for free. Get a 14-day free trial. Thanks in advance. Back to your regular scheduled program. I think you got about, what are we, the 14th of January? I think you've got about a month left of Tiff. I think she's out of there as far as elections go. I don't think she gets the Dalton election, and she's basically not on the ballot of Thornton Township. But let's take a quick peek here and let's get into faced with the revolt that's paralyzed one local government. Tiffany Henyard is asking a judge to intervene and force two Thornton Township trustees to attend meetings. Trustees Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlile have previously said that they were refusing to attend board meetings due to security concerns. And Tiff just missed two meetings in a row on the same day, one with Thornton and one with Dalton, because she said, there's security concerns. So, I mean, this is, they're just politicking here. They're politricking, right? So we got security concerns and fear that Henyard would use meeting to fill a vacancy on the board and shift control back into her hands. If she gets who she wants on the board, then she can kind of control things and cause some more damage. The Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlile, they are looking to basically keep things going, keep the band together. And as a result of the standoff, Henyard says the township was unable to renew insurance policies, forcing her to lock the township building in South Holland and suspend bus service. And yet, at the same time, people are showing footage of the buses just cruising around Township of Thornton. Still got the buses going, even after those, the insurance policy lapsed and that extended period lapsed as well. So it's hard to know who to believe here, right? Beneficiaries of the services provided by Thornton Township have suffered and are continuing to suffer hardships and inconveniences. Well, we knew this was going to happen. We've been talking about a shutdown for months and months and months, because if you don't have insurance, you can't run those physical structures. You can't run those buses. You don't have people who are able to do what they need to do because you take on too much liability without insurance. This is super basic stuff, people. And this has been a long time coming, including residents with serious medical conditions who depend on the transportation services. And I understand there is a large contingency of Tiffany Henyard supporters who are senior citizens who she has done a great job reaching out to and making them feel like they have a voice. But the bottom line is I think you could have gotten around the insurance. The insurance should be on auto renew, should be on some type of just boom, here we go. Shouldn't have to vote on it. I don't think they need to vote on that issue. So the insurance is being held hostage in order to push, from either side. Tiffany Henyard wants to get it going because she wants to get, somebody else on the board that will vote alongside her. Carmen Carlile and Chris Gonzalez, they want the opposite, which is just to hold things out until the election in February, and we'll see what happens. Henyard filed a complaint of mandamus. Mandamus, I have never heard of that before, in court, which asks a judge to compel the trustees to attend all regularly scheduled meetings and vote on matters before the board in good faith. Here's what that looks like. I'm not going to go through all of the actual details. You got so you got Henyard versus Chris Gonzalez, Carmen Carlile. You got a complaint, and the complaint basically says they missed a whole bunch of meetings. We want to get them back to the meeting. Carmen Carlile appointed yada yada as a current trustee. So first section here is Carmen Carlile. The second section is Chris Gonzalez. And you can see defendant Christopher Gonzalez deliberately, intentionally, purposely failed and refused to attend the special meeting scheduled Monday, 25th, 2024. The same could be said about the supermayor. How many meetings has the supermayor missed? Yeah, you don't see Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlile just running out. We're going to do a writ of mandamus or whatever it is this ridiculous thing is. The bottom line here, I believe, is that there's no law on the books that requires these folks to attend. It's just not there. You have to hold meetings, but you can't force somebody to attend based on a law that doesn't exist. And so here is what Tiffany Henyard is looking for. Here it is. Tiffany Henyard, in her capacity supervisor, respectfully prays that his honorable judge enter a judgment granting and issuing mandamus, directing and commanding defendant Carlile to attend any and all regular or special meeting, including any emergency meeting, faithfully and fully discharge her legal duties and obligations as vested, yada, yada, for such and further relief to the residents of Thornton Township as honorable court may deem proper and just. Trying to force him to go to court. So the article goes on to say, they shut down with very little notice, has been a lifeline for us. Yeah, of course it is, because this is literally, bus service and helping those in need, helping senior citizens in need to get from point A to point B. That is literally the point of the Township of Thornton, right? It's meant as a kind of a support system. However, WGN reported that some township buses were seen delivering residents to Henyard's Big Bingo event after she said the policy lapsed. Got a lot of he said, she said, just stuff going on as far as that goes. I'm not too worried about that because it's not my liability. It's the supermayor's liability. It's the trustee's liability. And if they don't have insurance, well, then, somebody gets into a big wreck, somebody falls and slips them, on the sidewalk. They, don't have liability policy, whatever. And that's going to be their problem. And in turn, that's where it becomes the problem of the citizens, because now you don't have coverage for big liability and big lawsuit. And that means more money out the door, taxpayers' money that could be coming into the residents. Meanwhile, these guys are just kind of all just dicking around with, well, we're going to go to the meeting. We're not going to go to the meeting. I fall on the side of Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlile. I think they are doing what they are being asked to do by the attorney who is giving them legal advice. And I believe he is giving them sound legal advice. That's the position I sit in. The supermayor doing this legal thing, it's going to go nowhere. It's going to go absolutely nowhere. This is a try for, because you know what? You got nothing else to lose. Why not? This is a Hail Mary. This is a last minute Hail Mary. It's going to go absolutely nowhere because there's nothing on the books that says, hey, you have to be at these meetings, because otherwise we would have already been down this road, right? First meeting. Hey, you got to be there. It says per the law. Late Monday afternoon, Gonzalez reported to WGN Investigates and said in a statement, it's unfortunate that Henyard is attempting to use the court system to leverage for political purposes. She and her administration are in desperation mode. Yeah, it's that Hail Mary. Just, oh my gosh, we're at the, We are 4th and 9. We are on our own 2-yard line. There is a minute left. We are down by 6. Let's let her rip. Let's see how this goes. We cannot and we will not go backwards. We look forward to addressing these matters through the appropriate legal channels. Carlile, along with Supervisor Henyard, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. I mean, it's just insanity, isn't it? This whole thing is just like, you're doing what? Doing what? Henyard filed another frivolous suit against Thornton Township trustees. This is from Illinois Leaks. The embattled and failing Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard has filed another complaint against 2 Thornton Townships. Complaint is a mandamus, which by its very definition seeks the courts to compel defendants to do or not do something the laws of the state mandate they do or prohibit them from doing. In this case, attendance at regular, special, and emergency meetings, which no state law mandates. Okay. So what are we doing? Literally, we're doing a Hail Mary. Let's just spend some more of the taxpayers' money and we'll see where it goes. It's going to go absolutely nowhere. That's where this bad boy's going. I don't see any other way around. I don't even see a little bit of daylight for the supermayor. It's just not there. This is just more ridiculousness where you think you can throw stuff against the wall and maybe something will stick. Well, there's nothing. You're not even throwing something against the wall. That's how bad this is, in my opinion, anyway. So that's going to go absolutely nowhere. NBC5 Chicago, Regina Waldrop dropped another kind of piece of the saga of the puzzle that is Village of Dalton. We've got Supermayor's ex-assistant Fania Duke sits down for exclusive one-on-one interview with NBC5. Now, I've watched this. I've literally watched this about 10 minutes in. It's a 37-minute video. I've heard her speak. I've heard her give her statement. I've read all about her stuff. All right, so we've got her. I want to hear from Andrew Holmes. But I don't think we're going to, because his attorneys, and he has done a great job of just basically hunkering down and not answering questions. Because if he says anything at this point in time with where he sits, anything he says is not going to go well for him. He's going to be damned if he did, damned if he didn't. And at some point in time, I think we'll get an explanation. But I want to hear from both sides. All right, Fania, we've heard your side. Okay, we get it. Duly noted. Let's hear from Andrew Holmes, because there's a bunch of stuff in the story that I'm not able to put together. I'm not able to get from point A to point B. So withholding judgment on that one, but I think a lot of this has to do with politics. Again, this comes down to politics. And there's been so much stuff in Dalton, in Township of Thornton, that has gone absolutely sideways, including whether people are showing up for meetings or not, that, it's kind of like it's been anything goes. But for those of you folks in Dalton or Township of Thornton, I think the end is coming pretty soon. We're supposed to have in the month of July, or not July, month of January, we're supposed to have Lori Lightfoot's report. Now that really won't do anything, but it shifts public opinion just that much more. And that's going to go in the direction of Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlile, because we've already had some preliminary and now we're going to have basically the full report. And that's supposed to happen in January, along top with in February, you've got the elections. And I don't see anything as far as the supermayor being able to weasel her way on the ballot in the Township of Thornton. I am not seeing that happen. So from that standpoint, I think Thornton, that's basically done and dusted. Now we're kind of comes down to Village of Dalton. We'll see what happens there. But I think a lot of this is playing out as we speak. As the world turns, you know how that goes. It's like, all right, it's another story. It's another day, but the world still turns. But hey, we're going to keep covering this to the bitter end. And I don't think we are far from having a lot of this basically. All right, end of that. All right, end of that. Here's where we are. FBI does their thing. I think the FBI is basically waiting for these terms to expire. Hey, you didn't get elected. All right, here's what we came up with. And I don't think Tiff goes to jail. I think she gets a slap on the wrist, whatever that means, however that goes down. And yeah, but we'll have to wait and see, right? All right. Thanks so much for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Tiff Show. Thanks for being here. Bye.